Chris Bledsoe's experience, probably one of the most dramatic. If you hear, him tell the story, it's just absolutely incredible. He met the entities themselves, and he also met the lady.
Yeah,
the lady.
And not many people meet the lady, and I think, and the lady is an element in all of this that really hasn't been explored very much. I will tell you that in some circles it's taken very, very seriously, but it hasn't been explored. The Catholic Church looked at it, because a lot of the sightings, Medjugorje, Fatima, Lourdes, they were all the lady appeared. None of the children that saw any of this, they ever claimed it was the Virgin Mary. It was just the lady. It was just a lady who showed up.
Right.
And I doubt the Virgin Mary had blonde hair and blue eyes. She was Semitic. So, and of course, the lady would lie, and the lady, would scare the living hell out of them, and fire and brimstone sometimes lovely messages. A typical abduction scenario where these beings come to people and they tell them stories. They have a line about the environment and things along those lines, but they're generally there's a trickster element to it. There is a physical, not very nice physical element to it. There's a very strong sexual element to it. It's not, sexual is homoerotic in some cases. And I don't know what the hell you make of that. I have no idea. But these are all strong leitmotifs that run through these abduction scenarios. So I think we have to be very, very careful when we talk about it.
So there's a lot of characteristics there, guys, that I think is interesting, and the reason why I included the Bledsoe, because he in so early in this program, is because we're going to come back to that later on, but it included things in this clip that I thought was pertinent, like the Catholic Church. It talked about the lady, and this is, from what I understand, and what I think what is the most interesting about this is he's coming at this from not only a personal view, but also he's saying that, from what I understand, inside the government, we have looked into this, but this lady thing is something we haven't really explored much, but it has happened. And he gives all these different scenarios that are going through that are typical. And so that's kind of what he went through there. There are a lot of different characteristics. Care to comment on any of those?
Absolutely.
And Matt can start this one.
Yeah, I have a bit of a background in this. I was a practicing Catholic, so I know exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about Marian apparitions. And Marian apparitions are something that has to be approved by the Vatican. It's not just something that's like, oh, I think Mary appeared to me in my garage, and then they're like, oh, Marian apparition. No, it's a procedure. It's the same way that when they canonize a saint, it's not just like, we think this guy was a decent guy, let's make him a saint. No, you got to go through a whole board of approval. There's boxes to check. So the lady, and what he was talking about there, Lourdes, Fatima, Medjugorje, he's talking about different locations where the lady has appeared and has been confirmed by the Catholic Church as a Marian apparition. It seems like Jim gets it, though. He gets that this is not Mary. He doesn't seem to understand that it's a demon, but he gets that it's not Mary. He even mentions that the Fatima children never said it was Mary, which is true. That first they just described this as a short being with large eyes. It frightened them. I mean, I think anyone would be frightened coming into contact with something like this. That's the natural response. So, yeah, the lady itself, it's a very weird thing, very strange, because he said that it's rare, that it doesn't appear to everybody. And she always brings these messages, like he said. Marian apparitions are famous for it. They always talk about the end of the world, talks about her cup is overflowing. She really assumes the role of God and Jesus. She's this figure that is reprimanding humanity and telling us we need to turn from our ways. And she'll say things like, my son holds heavy on my hand and I can't keep a grip on him any longer. Soon he will take his wrath on the world, lest blah, blah, blah happens. And yeah, it's a messy thing. But if you want to know what he's talking about, look into Marian apparitions.
This sounds like
one and the same.
It sounds like Gaia from Captain Planet or something. Or he also mentioned it was blonde hair, blue eyes, and big eyes. That sounds more like an anime character than it sounds like an alien.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot, Matthew, but off the top of your head, what percentage of Catholics would you say accept the Vatican's interpretation of this event just because the Vatican says so?
Well, there are different types of Catholics. There are cultural Catholics. There are people who just claim to be Catholic and they really don't go to Mass all that often. Maybe they go for an Easter Mass or a Christmas Mass. Then there are those who take it a little more seriously. Maybe they show up every Sunday for Mass. Then you have people where I was going to Mass multiple times a week because you believe that engaging with the ritual, this is what's bringing me closer to God. I'm doing God's will. By coming to Mass, by participating in the communion, Jesus laid it out very clearly. Got to eat the bread, got to drink the blood. This is how I inherit eternal life. So within those factions, there are people who are total Marian like worshipers. It gets weird. Like if you want to look into it, there's like the Legion of Mary. Red flag there, the Legion of Mary.
Wow.
That's a whole brotherhood that's dedicated to saying rosary prayers and just adoring Mary, and they see her as a mediatrix, which means a female mediator between God and man. She takes the place of Jesus. So for a percentage, off the top of my head, I would say it's rough, but I can't give like a definitive number, but I will say that there is a good number of people who are Catholic and take it very seriously. The Vatican, they are the authority on the matter. I mean, they're the ones who inherited the throne of Peter. That's what it all goes back to. It's like, this is Jesus's church. So
that's what they say
goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They think
I
they are
don't
the
think that-
mother
I guess
church.
the point I was getting at is that, potentially millions, if not tens of millions of people, if there is some type of alien
Absolutely.
disclosure or something like that, and the
Easily.
Vatican endorses it, they're going to go along with it just right there.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, even the, like I said, the cultural Catholics or the people who are a little more lukewarm on it, they'll go along with the diehard people. They'll look to them and be like, oh, these are the church-going Catholics. Like, I better listen to them. They know what's going on because they've been sitting at Mass while I've been at home. So yes, I would say easily tens of millions of people around the world, because Catholicism, it has like 1.2 billion adherents right now, I believe, it's current number. And I would say millions, tens of millions of people within that number believe. And Mary is a very serious topic.
Thanks for watching this segment. Subscribe to our channel and join us every Thursday night for more daily strange topics and more. Find us on Discord by accessing patreon.com/strangenormal. See you there.